Welcome to Savage and Just a Little Bit Average down here at the 6-0 Football Academy in Parker, Colorado off of Progress. I am your host, Matt McChesney, as always. My co-host, Cody Roark, to my right. He's going to be sitting in with us as we go on this journey here. I'm the Savage. He's a little bit average, but everybody's a little bit average when it comes down to it. No offense, Cody. And we are honored today to have my man, a good friend of mine and an unbelievable Bronco for many years, 10-year NFL veteran, Derek Wolfe, in the fucking house. D, welcome, brother. I'm so glad you're here. In studio, in the lobby here at 6-0 Football Academy, the Mecca here in Parker, for the guys who want to do it the right way. Remember, you can follow us on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Twitter. The TikTok page, we are live today. What's up, everybody? TikTok live at 6-0 Academy _60. Make sure you follow the page. And then on Instagram at 6-0 Academy and Twitter at 6-0 Academy. Cody, what are your handles so everybody can get a handle on what you're doing? At
Cody Roark NFL on Twitter is usually where I interact, and obviously we'll be here looking forward to providing coverage, all things football, preps, live, everything in between, man. Super excited.
And then Mile High Sports. Tell them about your shows on Mile High Sports.
So I'll be covering the Denver Broncos daily for Mile High Sports. We'll be traveling home and away games, every practice. We have it covered.
And then obviously Derek's Instagram page is awesome. What's your Instagram, Derek, so I can give you a follow?
It's Derek Wolfe 95.
Derek Wolfe 95. My Durango, number 95. All right, so let's get into this shit. 10-year NFL veteran Derek Wolfe joining us here. So right off the bat, okay. One thing I always like to ask the vets, you know, I played both ways. It was the best thing that ever happened to me, but at the same time, I always wish I could have just kept playing defense. The first number I ever wore in the NFL was 95. Knuckles, baby.
Hell yeah.
Good, you know, like mine. I always think about, like, if the offensive line Matt played the defensive line Matt in, like, a Doctor Strange, like, multiverse fucking crazy world, who would win? So I come to this question. You played 10 years. You played with some unbelievable players. Who's the best offensive lineman you ever played against? The guy that, like, I'm not going to say give you trouble, because I've never seen you, like, have trouble with anybody. But that guy that's like, shit, I can't get him inside. I can't beat him around the corner. He's on my ass all the time. He's in my ear. Who's that guy?
There's two guys that come to mind. First guy, it was both times it was my rookie year. It was Joe Thomas.
Yeah, makes sense.
Absolute dog, and he was big, strong, and smart. And then Dwayne Brown.
Dwayne Brown. He's with Seattle now, right?
Yeah, but when he was with Houston, it was my rookie year, and I had been like, I don't know, my confidence was pretty high because I was manhandling pretty much everybody else I went against. I was playing that 4 technique pretty much better than anybody else.
And you were the first round pick for Denver, even though you were a second round pick. Yeah. You were the first pick of the draft that year. They traded back and took you, what, first pick of the second round? Second pick of the second
36
round?
picks.
Yeah, so that was a big time get for Denver. So why did Dwayne and Joe give you so many problems at the 4 tech?
I think it was because, like, my strength, at that point, strength didn't matter. It was all about technique with those guys. You know what I mean? And the Joe Thomas thing, it was like I got into his chest, and he had me on the outside of my – I stayed on the block too long, you know what I mean? And he just kind of was like, shoot, see ya, and dumped me. And I was like, oh, you know.
He's the first ballot Hall of Famer, right?
Absolutely.
Got to be, right?
Absolutely.
You think Dwayne's a Hall of Famer too?
I think so.
Let me ask this question. Do you think the standard for Hall of Fame is still as high as it used to be? Because I hear a lot of stuff. Like I was listening to the athlete podcast the other day, the one that Brandon Marshall does, and they were talking about, like, Deshaun Jackson, and he was like unequivocally first ballot Hall of Fame, and I was like, no doubt you're a hell of a player. Like, you're a great player, Deshaun, but first ballot Hall of Fame, like, that's bold.
I mean, it's a bold statement. I think he's like he should be in the talks for Hall of Fame, you know, but I don't know about first ballot, you know what I'm saying? Because I've played with first ballot Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
DeMarcus Ware, Von Miller.
Manning, Von Miller. You know, I think Aqib Talib is right there.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
I think Chris Harris Jr., I think people
still playing.
I think he's still playing. I think he played some really great football for about 9 years. I mean, for about 9 years, he was the best slot corner there was.
Man, it's just, you look back on that Super Bowl 50 team, and even the year before, you guys were pretty good. But that Super Bowl 50 team, that defense, you look back on it now, and Talib, Chris Harris Jr., Stewart, TJ, you, DeMarcus Ware, Von Miller, and we're forgetting how many
Danny
just great Trevathan. I mean, dudes everywhere. When you look back at that unit, like, I personally think, and it's a homer pick, But if I'm going to sit here and talk about like best defenses of all time, and Cody, jump in on this too. You got the 85 Bears are up there. I'm not saying they're number one, but they're up there. 2000 Ravens up there. They were unbelievable. But I've never seen anybody just dominate football games. Not only dominate, but in the playoffs especially against top-tier competition. Tom Brady, the NFL MVP. Just talk about that year, Super Bowl 50, and just then we'll get into some of the best defenses of all time. What up, David Bruton? David Bruton's in the house. Look at that.
I'll tell you, man, that season was like, it was so up and down because Peyton he had like plantar fasciitis or something. He could barely throw a football. He couldn't plant to throw a football.
He was hurt.
He was hurting bad. And, you know, it was just like, it didn't, no matter what happened, we had Wade Phillips, right? Wade Phillips is a genius. And he's one of the best, he's probably the best coordinator ever. He's definitely the best coordinator I've ever played for, ever. Like, I mean, David will
pull up a chair, Doug.
He was the best.
For real.
He's the best I've ever played for. And I would have died for that guy because he was just like an unbelievable coach and like a fatherly figure, you know, and he loved his players. And we just had this mentality. It was
You
like,
just walk in front of the camera, Dick. It's okay. Walking. You're good right there.
We had this mentality that it didn't fucking matter. Like, it didn't matter what happened. If there was a turnover, we looked forward to it. We looked forward to going back out on the field. We couldn't wait to get back out there because we knew we were going to fuck somebody up. Like, we knew it was going to be, and the rules were different. You could fuck the quarterback up. You could land on him. You know what I mean? You could play football, you know? And I feel like they changed the rules.
Quarterback up, land on him.
After what we did in the playoffs.
Carry him down the fucking mountain like the bear you shot.
I mean, it was fun. It was a lot more fun than it was. This last couple of years were just not as fun because you can't land on a fucking quarterback. It's like, dude, since I was 7 years old, that was like
it's the number one thing you want to do.
My coaches were like, land on him.
Yeah,
land,
sternum,
feel you.
Lift, destruction. That's the way it works.
That make him feel you. And I could think of certain games where I know that I changed the game. Like that 2015 season, we were playing the Green Bay Packers. The first drive, Aaron Rodgers rolls out. I get to him, and he releases the ball just as I'm hitting him, and I landed on him, and I heard the air leave him. You know, and I knew that he was going to be thinking about that the rest of the game. He's going to be thinking, and the same with Tom Brady. You know, I remember Elvis telling me that Elvis Dumerville told me, he's like, once you hit him, there's another guy that could be mentioned in the Hall of Fame.
Dude, Elvis was a fucking animal.
Absolute dog.
I mean, when I was with Denver and I was on offense, Elvis was on defense, and like Elvis would do shit, and he had this move where he'd come up the field and he would like fake the straight arm, and you would sit on it, and he'd be whoop, and he'd dip right and move underneath you at like knee level, dog, and you're like punching down, and half the time after you punch, when you would feel your inside hand, he would spin off of it, and the old lineman would just like fucking fall, and he'd pop. And I mean, Elvis Dumerville was a bad-ass player, man. He was one bad dude at defensive end.
And a great human, too. Great human.
And I just wish that they could figure out the goddamn fax machine, bro.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? What the fuck?
That was my, like, welcome to the NFL moment when I realized how much bullshit goes on.
He ended up going to Baltimore right after that, too. So it kind of played out, but kind of touching on what you had mentioned earlier about the defense. You guys just knew if the game had to come down to your guys' hands, you were comfortable with it. But there were times where, like, okay, the offense was struggling. Was there anything that you guys said to each other defensively in the huddle, like, hey, if we're going to win this game, it's on us. We have to get a takeaway. We have to get a pick six. I mean, Aqib, I think, had, 2 or 3 that year?
No.
I mean,
Chris Harris had one. I mean, what was that mentality like for you? I mean, we always talk about, Def Rule. I mean, that is the mentality you guys have had as a defense.
Yeah, where nobody could fuck with us. We just knew that we weren't going to be fucked with. That it didn't matter who we were playing, what was going on.
Somebody's van. I'm telling you.
It didn't matter what. It was like, that was the thing when you talk about was anything said. We didn't have to say shit to each other because it was expected. And if somebody, there was accountability. And that's what's lacking in this generation, this new generation.
Amen to that, brother.
Is there's no accountability. People fuck up, and how many times are you watching a football game now at all levels, and there's somebody that fucks up, and you see them throwing their hands up and pointing to somebody else.
It's your fault.
Yeah, they want to blame somebody else. They want to take responsibility. Everybody on that team, from special teams from the kicker all the way to the fucking backup center, everybody was accountable for their actions. And if they fucked up, they made sure they made up for that play. Like, I'm going to make up for it. And I'm going to go make a play this next time. Whether it be a sack fumble, or a sack fumble, a pick six, an interception, get a block on that interception. and the hustle that we showed. Like nobody was gonna take a play off because we would watch that film together, and you didn't want to be that guy. That's, you know what I mean? You get called out quick. You don't want to be that guy that's standing around fucking clock watching.
So look, Bill Kolar, okay? You know Bill Kolar, obviously, okay? Bill Kolar was my first defensive line coach in the NFL, okay, when I was with the St. Louis Rams way back in the fucking day. Tell you how old the big guy is. But he was your defensive line coach, right? How long was Bill your defensive line coach?
6 years.
6 years, okay? I only had him for a half of a year, and the what he instilled in me and what I took from college, but then he just like ratcheted it up another notch. If you don't chase the ball, you'll never play. If I don't get full effort, you'll never play. There's other guys here that will do it if you won't. No, like absolutely zero, like feeling sorry for anybody, no sympathy. But if you're one of his guys, he will take a bullet for you.
Absolutely.
And what just having him as your first defensive line coach, just elaborate on how much he taught you and how it just took you from A to, potentially, in my opinion, I don't know how you guys feel about this, being his ex-teammate and being in the media, but I think you're a Ring of Famer here in Denver, and they need to put that 9.5 up in the fucking rafters.
I appreciate that. But when it comes to Bill, so my first 3 years in the league, I had Jay Rogers. And Jay was he was like an assistant before because it was Nunley, right? Nunley was the D-line coach, and Wayne Nunley, and he was having some health issues. So that was the D-line coach when I first got here. And then after rookie minicamp, he was like, I can't do it anymore. So Jay took over, and I love Jay. Like, we still have a good relationship, but he didn't really know what he was doing yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't know, he wasn't able to like establish that, like, the D-line is going to take on the aggression and the attitude of the coach. Whatever the coach is pushing and preaching, that's what the D-line is going to take.
Damn straight.
And you take a quarterback and have him try to coach D-line, there's going to be a learning curve. You know what I'm saying? And he ended up doing well as a D-line coach. He went to Chicago and had a lot of success with those guys. Akeem Hicks was over there, and he had some good defensive linemen over there. But when Bill got here, that motherfucker was like, look, he's like, he's like, I thought I played hard. That was instilled in me in college. Like, I had fucking Butch Jones in college, and that guy's a psychopath, chasing me around the fucking bullhorn all the time, screaming, yelling.
Get moving, Derek!
There's fucking NFL scouts everywhere, and he's like, "You're fucking lazy. Let's go." I'm like, "Oh shit." No fighting. What are you fighting for?
That's what we do.
I'm like, I can't help it. I'm a fucking psycho.
That's what people fight.
So when Bill got here, he did that same thing. He would we'd be at practice. He'd be out there howling at me and shit, and screaming and yelling and like encouraging me to go make plays. Like, hey, and he always used to tell me like, oh, you get one sack and you fucking give up. You don't want to get 2-3 sacks again. You get one fucking sack and that's it. That's all you care about. I'm like, Bill, I'm fucking trying. I swear. Fucking
try harder.
Try fucking harder.
Hey, so Brute, I'm gonna hand you the mic here, but playing behind Derek and DeMarcus and Vaughn and Trevathan and Malik Jackson, and I mean, good Lord in heaven,
Knighton.
Just talk about like playing behind them and the DB room with all those great players, right? You're sitting in the DB room. Do you guys just sit there and like, oh, we're going to get about 15 opportunities this week to make some plays?
Man, 110%. We sat back there. It's like, shit, let's send the dogs. We know Wade was only going to send blitzes, and we were just going to sit there and just try to jump shit all game. Playing behind those guys, I was lucky to play safety behind them, but also linebacker for a lot of our third down shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and play that dime backer. And I'm like, I got to fucking do a run fit. I never got touched. Like, these fuckers ate up all the fucking blocks. I'm like, cool, scot-free, boom.
There's
okay,
no
cool.
You're not climbing.
Yeah, nobody got to the second level every time I was down there. Draw, screen, nothing came up to the second level to me when I played. So I was like, we got something special up front. And then we just fed off each other's energy. Like what Derek was saying is like, shit, the offense will turn it over. We hear them howling, wolfing, and shit like that. Shit, we're feeding into the DB room. DB room doing this. DB room feeding it back down there. Like it was a whole different energy down there, man. Like we knew that we were going to do the shit, and it got to a point the offense even knew like we were the saving fucking grace of the team.
100%.
They realized that, and we we would talk shit to even to the offense at some point in time. Like Emmanuel, I remember Emmanuel talking shit to Chris and the Key.
Oh, they used
and
to
they
get,
were.
it used to get.
Oh yeah, it's like we
talk about that real quick because the Russell Okung, I know it was a year later, right? He wasn't on Super Bowl 50 roster. Right?
No.
They signed him the year later, right? When Russell, and look, Russell's a good dude, I guess. I don't know him personally, but when Russell stood up in the locker room and apologized, right, about the offensive production that day, didn't Akib get up and just ostracize the shit out of him? Didn't that happen?
It was like, man, fuck that. What do you mean? No apologizing. Just get together. Just go fix it. There's no apologizing.
Yeah.
There's none of that apologize. And Russ is a great dude, a fucking solid ass dude.
But he wasn't there for that run.
But he wasn't there for it. You know what I mean? So he doesn't know what kind of fucking psychos were on that other side of the ball.
Man, so going back full circle to
Chain
it.
snatching motherfucker.
Yeah, that was the coolest shit I've ever seen, bro. When Talib grabbed Crabtree's chain and ripped it off, Crabtree's fucking confidence and career went in the tubes. that alone should put him in the fucking Hall of Fame. So everybody, obviously, I think the Super Bowl 50 Broncos defense is the best defense of all time. Obviously, you two do as well.
Oh yeah.
Same.
I mean,
how can you not?
I mean, the 85 Bears defense, how would they have played in the way the NFL was? I feel like it's probably going to be harder to play in today's.
They would have to adapt
then.
big time.
I mean, you could get away with more. You could bury guys the way that you should defensively. But, I mean, the athletic ability, the ground and pound game was a little different. It was not necessarily a big passing game back in the 80s the way it was with, hand the ball to Barry Sanders, let him run, let him do business. You couldn't do that. And you guys obviously imposed your will defensively. I remember because we were talking about rule changes just briefly. 2016, you rematched the Panthers that week one.
That was the opener, right?
That's probably what said it because
is that when Darian Stewart murdered Cam, right? Murdered
the whole defense.
Dude,
Cam tried to slide and Darian
because he dabbed. Cam scored a touchdown and dabbed, and the defense. I feel like you guys were like, all right,
fuck this dude.
Fuck this dude.
Dude, I put my. Dude, I chased him. I chased that motherfucker on the. I beat the guard. Beat him with a fucking chop. You know what I mean? You know my chop I would work.
Oh yeah.
I beat him with the chop. I beat Trey Turner with that chop again. Beat him with it in the Super Bowl.
Beat him in the Super Bowl. Beat him week one.
He was all pro, and I had a fucking chip on my shoulder about it because I never got that all pro nod or that Pro Bowl nod. So I was like, fucking. Anytime I went against an all pro or Pro Bowler, I was fucking
motivation, baby.
I was gonna try to beat their ass every play. So beat him with that chop, and then I don't like Cam Newton anyways. I just don't like his attitude and the way he presents himself.
You're not the only one.
So I fucking chase him, and he gets kind of stood up by somebody, and I put my fucking helmet right in his spine. I hit him as hard as I could.
Whoa!
And they got all that. They got those rib pads, you know.
Oh yeah,
dude. I couldn't believe he got up because I hit him as hard as I could. It hurt my fucking neck.
I mean, he's tough. No one can say he's not.
No,
tough.
He's a tough dude.
Well, except for the whole not going after the ball in the Super Bowl thing.
Well,
when that happened, and this just popped in my head, when he didn't reach for the ball. You guys already knew you were going to win at that point, but when you walked off the field, we were like, "We got this motherfucker." It's over.
It was crazy because I was standing there. when it happened. I'm right there in that motion, seeing him coming. I see DeMarcus reaching for the ball. D. Ware was reaching for the ball, so I was like, "Oh, we got it." So I'm not going to dive onto my own teammate, right? So I didn't dive in there, but I seen him not dive, and I was like, "Oh, he gave up.
It's done.
He's done.
You don't want it no more."
But I knew he gave up when I hit him in the back of the end zone. And he fucking was flopping on the ground, and then he went over the sidelines and threw his helmet and shit.
I love it.
And I was like, he's done. He's given up.
And look, as a player, in my opinion, there's nothing better than taking the will from another human on the football field. When it happens because eyes go down, they start talking shit to each other, and it's over. And there's blood in the water, and we're rolling. Before we get into Peyton Manning, and I want both of you to elaborate on a couple of things, ask you a couple of questions about him. Look, I'm a huge metalhead, okay? And Bruton, you're here all the time. You hear what's on the radio. We're getting the fuck down in here. My kids listen to metal. Nick over there on TikTok Live, say hi, Nick. Hi, Nick. I think that it's a major part of my life. It was a major part of pregame for me. If I don't have my tunes, shit just doesn't feel right. And I still operate like that. So Colorado Center for Functional Medicine is going to bring you this next segment, and we're going to fucking rock out with Derek and Brute and Cody here and talk about a little bit of metal and what you're listening to before pregame. And everybody out there in Instagram and Twitter and TikTok land, you can comment on this because this is big. I know Travis is a huge metalhead, fucking Pantera all day. So, Colorado Center for Functional Medicine, all the protein that they provide down here for the Dungeon family, they're awesome. So CCFM, you can follow them on Twitter now and Instagram at CCFM. So go check them out. They're awesome. And they bring you this next segment of us rocking the fuck out. Matt McChesney here, and any of you that are looking to improve performance and get your health in check, reach out to our friends at the Colorado Center for Functional Medicine. Their men's health optimization plan is designed specifically for males that can identify specific health priorities which many doctors fail to address. They use precision blood work, which looks at your hormones levels, your micronutrient levels, your insulin, and many other markers which are often overlooked. This plan can also include an advanced body composition analysis to see where your body fat, your muscle mass, your visceral fat levels are at any order to establish individual nutrition plans for every single client. Stop relying on fad diets, crazy workout programs, and bro science. Health and fitness are not the same thing. If you want true results, they can help you at CCFM. Mention the podcast Savage and Average to receive a 10% discount on every single optimization plan, as well as a free body composition analysis and nutrition consultation. Their website is www.ccfuncmed.com. That's www.ccfuncmed.com, or call them at 303-500-3038. All right, so now, look, I got about 10 here. I'm not going to go through all 10, but I got Spiral from Godsmack, Enema from Tool, which Tool's my shit. It's my favorite band of all time. More Human Than Human from Zombie. Don't Tread on Me, Metallica. And then a little Kick in the Door from Biggie. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. Yeah. Wolf?
So, For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Oh, dude.
Is like, I'll listen to it 3 or 4 times because it just fucking gets me going. It just like, dun 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 dun. It just fucking gets me going. I get fired up every time I hear it. So, I'll listen to some fucking old school Eminem.
Yep.
Just to get going. Some Marshall Mathers
that
LP.
Renegade or Superman. Those.
Yeah.
Oh, that Renegade Jay-Z song. That fucking shit is so hard.
Oh yeah.
Then I'll listen to some Wu-Tang too.
Wu-Tang.
Tiger style. But I'm telling you that For Whom the Bell Tolls gets me fucking going.
For Whom the Bell Tolls, bro.
Man, that Super Bowl run, it was all Southpaw. The Southpaw soundtrack right there.
Yeah.
That movie went hard. That soundtrack went hard.
Yeah.
I Am Phenomenal. Kings Never Die. Like, I'd be snapping that shit. Hell, I'd go to sleep listening to that shit and wake up ready for that game. Like, that was my shit for those 2 years, yeah.
But wouldn't you agree that the album that, like, the crazy thing, the album that we all listened to as a collective.
Yeah, what was the locker room?
The Purple Rain album by Future.
Yep.
That fucking
Purple March Rain Madness album. And all that.
That shit, bro. That shit. We were on a whole nother level, of not giving a fuck because it
was played.
He was coming fresh off a divorce with Sierra.
No Future anymore in the locker room.
No, we ain't playing that shit anymore.
Easy.
I mean, those are. When you're trying to get your mind right, because some people, I think the way they prepare for games, right? You look at Brian Dawkins; he's speaking in tongues before games. He's not listening to music.
Brian Dawkins pregame speeches.
Oh, I bet.
Holy shit!
Inject it right in your veins. Dog. For me, I'm a Metallica guy, so when I played ball in high school, every Friday night we would build up and we would run out to Enter Sandman. We'd have cannons, smoke firing off. Yeah, and it was just like there's something exhilarating when you're running out. Right when it just builds up, the cannons explode because we were the Pirates, and all of a sudden, a town of 5,000 people are in the stands is crazy.
It's the beauty of music, baby.
That's different than like a stadium of 76,000 you guys were used to. But Metallica. I mean, you mentioned Godsmack, Rob Zombie. Even just go back, I used to listen to the Black Album a lot by Jay-Z. That was what I always listened to.
That's a good one. That's a fucking banger. There's no doubt about that. 99 Problems, and the bitch is one. Hit me. All right, moving on here. Thank you to Colorado Center of Functional Medicine for all that they do. All right, I want to get into a little bit of Peyton Manning talk here. And I'm going to tell a story. But I was working for Orange and Blue way back in the day. Well, you know Brandon Cristal, little Brandon. Yeah. He was my co-host. BK's my guy. And that was the Super Bowl 50 year. It was pretty cool. And I just wanted to get you and Dave's opinion on this, but what really set it off for me with Peyton Manning is, yes, first ballot Hall of Famer, maybe the best ever, cognitive ability through the fucking roof, calling the play at the line of scrimmage, all that's great. But what he did against the Chargers in Week 17, when he changed the play and CJ scored that touchdown at the front pylon on the left side, and Brock wasn't changing it the entire first half and wasn't seeing the audible, and then Peyton goes in and changes it immediately, and it sparks the victory. Just his ability to go up there and see the numbers and have that kind of confidence. I mean, I know it's Peyton Manning, but that kind of shit, the normal fan doesn't see it. No. They don't see it. And I'm at home like, this is fucking incredible. Look what he just did. And he didn't throw the ball a wink. He didn't throw it a yard. So, like, as a 3 technique, as a 4-eye, as a defensive tackle in this league, how much better did that man make you up front? And same for safety and on special teams and everything, the accountability alone, but just the knowledge and the teaching and the leadership. Talk about having that man as a teammate.
I mean, there was definitely – so when Peyton left, there was a hole.
Yeah,
there was a hole that just was not filled because it wasn't just on the field. It was the way we did everything around the building. They call him a sheriff for the reason. Everything around the building is how Peyton wants it to be, right? And Peyton is like a down-to-earth guy. This motherfucker drinks Bud Heavy after the game.
Bud Heavy.
Like straight diesel fuel. Fucking David Allen Coe playing. Like, this motherfucker is a hillbilly. Like, I love him. I love that guy because I'll tell you, my rookie year, we had a Halloween party, and Justin fucking Bannon tells me, he gives me some bad advice, and I show up
no shit.
Yeah. He gives me some bad advice, and I show up to the Halloween party with a bus full of fucking we're not good.
It's okay.
It's a bus full of fucking strippers.
Yeah, bus full of strippers. Not
because he told me to do it. Yeah, I was like, all right, I'm the fucking rookie. I got to do what I'm told.
The vet is telling you what to do.
Yeah.
Like,
so I show up, and there's everybody in there with their wives.
I do remember that.
Bro.
Look, man, they don't call him Bad News Billy Bannon for no reason. Okay?
Yeah.
There's a lot there. We can
Billy
get into
Bannon.
that big time. But they don't call him Bad News Billy Bannon for no reason. Bad shit happens.
He thought it, Bannon thought it was fucking hilarious.
He loved it. He was like, hey, where are they going? Get them over here.
Yeah, he was fucking thought it was hilarious. Peyton thought it was funny, but his wife did not think it was funny.
Yeah, no kidding.
Neither did any other wives. They're like, what the fuck? This is a family Halloween party. And I'm like, oh, shit. So when so Peyton comes up to me at like we had like breakfast. We're at breakfast or whatever, like 2 days later, right? We're in the facility eating breakfast, and Peyton comes up and goes, "Hey man," he's like, "Don't be bringing fucking whores and shit to the fucking family Halloween party." And I was like, "All right." He's like, "And watch who the fuck you're hanging." He told me, he said, "Watch who you're hanging out with." He's like,
he wasn't lying.
He's like, "Do you want to be great?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "All right, well then you got to hang out with the people that want to be great then." And I was like, "All right, you're right." So then I started spending a lot more time with Elvis, and Elvis kind of pointed me in the right direction.
I mean, brother, like, first of all, how'd the Halloween party go? I gotta get your.
I had left right before those strippers came, but I was not married at the time, so I probably would have been grateful.
I was with Matt Prater. I was with fucking Matt Prater too.
God, Prater. Prater, that's another guy. We're like, oh my god, did you go to JD Bates' house with Prater and wake up 3 days later? What the fuck is going on? Pretty sure that happened to him a couple of times too.
Yes.
And didn't he like miss a full day or some shit once? Like,
that Brenton did too as well. I think Brenton missed a couple as well.
There was some bad shit that went down.
Well, so look,
in Dallas. Remember that shit in Dallas?
Oh yeah. We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Dallas.
But look, I will say this: you brought it up, so I'm going to talk about it. I totally and unequivocally agree that it's about who you hang out with and the people you're around.
Absolutely.
And you know how my career ended. It's embarrassing. I mean, Bannon essentially ran me over going 60 miles an hour in a golf cart. Like, he was not sober. Like, it tore my leg up bad. It ended my career. It's fucking embarrassing. No one likes that. Like, I still get shit about it. Like, it was me. He hit me from the left. I can't see left. That's a bad combo. But it's true. Like, if I wouldn't have gone that day to the golf course and hung out with him, it wouldn't have happened. And you're just, it doesn't really matter what you do sometimes. It's the people you're around. So it's a great learning experience at that point in your life too. And that's kind of my point about Peyton is he's not, I was around some quarterbacks. You know, I played with Brett Favre for a short period of time when they traded him to the Jets before I went to Miami that year. And Brett was a good old boy and a nice guy, but he's not going to walk up to a young guy and be like, this is what you need to do and this is what you don't need to do. He's just there. The fact that Peyton would like take time out of his day to walk up to the rookie because he knew you didn't have anything to do with it.
Right.
You get told by the vet who just got signed and got a bunch of dough, and you're going to be like, okay, fuck, that's my job. I've been bringing cheeseburgers to these guys all year. Now I'm bringing strippers. I love it. I love the NFL so much. It's so fun.
Fucking crazy.
It's so fun. But like just Peyton to walk up to you and go, look, I know you have a ton of potential. Don't fuck it up. Be careful who you're with. And then you say, I'm going straight to Elvis now. Bro, that's fucking big time, D. Like just the ability to tell that story too, bro. That's fucking big time. That'll help one of these young guys out here because like you said, these young guys out here, man, they're so influenced by what they see on social media. And they don't understand that the 1 minute clip it takes, the fucking minute that I post on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter of these guys in here working, or like Quinn Bailey was just in here for an hour busting his ass. The minute that I put up, they're like, oh, look, that looks easy. It looks fun. Well, that took 60, 90 minutes and 100 reps and blood, sweat, and tears to get.
Yep.
Like, it takes fucking work. You can't just show up and be like, I'm big and strong, so I'm going to play. Or I can make bad decisions, or I can drink like a fish or smoke dope and like not take care of my responsibilities. As grown men in the NFL, we all know that people do what they do. But there's a difference between the guy that can get out of bed every day and act like a fucking professional and the guy who lets that creep into his wheelhouse and fuck his entire life up and his dreams. And, having it inadvertently happen to you is not cool. Like, it sucked, but at the same time, it taught me a very valuable lesson. And that is that things happen, and you can either crumble or you can respond. And I don't shy away from talking about it because bad shit happens to people every day. Mm-hmm. And I feel one of the reasons that so many people dwell on it is because they don't, like, there's so many people out here judging them for their action rather than being like, bro, that's fucking terrible. And, like, hugging them up and loving them up a little bit. So I really try and take negative shit and turn it into a positive on a daily basis. And Brute, you're here all the time. I know that I'm hardcore on these guys.
You have to be.
But there's a fucking there's a method to the madness,
these fucking kids are soft as
well. Even the other day, like you commented on the video that I posted about the kid that fucking came in here. He came in, dude, he's paid the night before. This fucking kid walks in here, okay? He's here for 10 minutes late. He's a D3 player, and that's cool. I don't care. Some of the best players that have ever been in this room are small school guys. They just got overlooked. I'm going to give him an opportunity. This fucking kid walks in here in 20 minutes, drops the ropes. I don't need to do cardio. You're full of shit. You don't know what you're talking about. Fuck you, yada, yada.
That's why he's playing Division III football. Super
disrespectful. Well, he's not. I doubt he's even playing there. Like, the fact that he would do that, it's like an indicator to me that there's a huge break between like having the ability to play physically and having the ability to play fucking mentally.
Yep.
A massive one.
Yep.
And what really set it off for me, I was telling Cody this before we started the show, his fucking dad called me.
Oh, God.
And so his daddy calls me. And daddy calls me and he goes, why did you say to my son? And I was like, I told him to get the fuck out. This is exactly what I said to him after he came at me. And he's a 20-year-old grown-ass man, bro. Like, who the fuck are you talking to? If you want respect, earn it. So that's one thing that we can say to this generation. And I know that you guys agree with me on that one. Take that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these kids, it all started with the fucking participation trophies.
Oh, God.
Everybody's a fucking winner. Everybody's a fucking winner. Everybody's this. Like, no, not everybody's the same. All right. We all start the same.
All equal.
We're all equal. But some people they take themselves above that and they push themselves. Amen. And it's up here. When you said that the mental part of this game, when you get to the NFL, everybody is fucking hurt at all times. As soon as that first day of training camp is over, everybody feels like shit. For the rest of the year, for the next 6 months, you're gonna feel like shit every day.
Yep.
And then you're gonna spend the 6 months after that trying to get back and ready. And then you're gonna feel really good the day before camp. Mm-hmm. And you're gonna show up to camp and you're gonna feel like shit again. And you're gonna keep doing it. And you're just gonna do it until you can't do it anymore. And that's just the way it goes. But mentally, people can't handle that shit. They can't handle it, just like we were talking about, right? Like the drinking, the smoking, all that other bullshit. They can't handle the fact that like all their buddies and get to go out and have a good time and party and shit.
You're missing out on something.
Like they're missing out. Well, guess what? All those motherfuckers that are doing that wish they were in your shoes. They would do what you're doing.
Yep.
They would all trade that shit for this.
Facts.
It was just like in college, right? Think about a college. In college, college was a great time, right? But most of you get 2 weeks off a year as a college football player. You get 1 week in the summer and 1 week in the winter.
I just wish somebody in college, like one thing that I really have a lot of pride in is all my college guys. And, Sam Jones, he didn't spend a lot of time in Denver. He got hurt his back really bad, but he was one of our guys. Started at Thunder Ridge High School, gets drafted. Dalton Risner's one of our guys. Started at 14 years old, gets drafted. Phil Lindsay's one of our guys. That's just 3 off the top of my head that ended up in Denver. There's guys everywhere, all over college football. Travis's son Connor goes to Michigan, and Jake Wiley, and Josh Bates, and Cole Taylor and Zune, and all these guys starting all over college football. And one of the things that I can really sit back and the biggest source of honor and pride that I have in this business is the ability for me to say to them, be careful what you're doing, man. Take this opportunity of next 4 or 5 years and act like you're a professional now if that's where you want to go. Because if anybody would have told me this when I was in college, I felt like the coaches in college were scared to reprimand us almost to a point because they thought people would transfer and shit.
Yeah.
And I can't
nowadays they will.
Well, they will now, yeah. But Coach Wilson, who's now the defensive coordinator up at CU, I remember him saying to me right before I went into my junior year, if you don't knock this shit off, you're gonna fucking blow your opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And it really rung true to me at that point, and it was too late. At that point, I'd already done enough damage where I had character issues and shit, and it didn't really matter if I could play. They were like, he's undrafted, and we'll just get him undrafted because we've got a way to knock him down the list. So for these kids, I hope the NIL and I hope that the Instagram pages and the Twitter fears and the TikToks and all this bullshit, I hope it forces them to be more responsible because they don't want to be embarrassed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's one of the benefits of it.
Well, think about it. When an NFL team goes into a college and they send their scouts in there,
yep.
They go to the bars you go to. They go to the restaurants you eat at. They talk to everybody. They go talk to your teachers. They talk to your guidance counselors. They talk to everybody to find out who the fuck you are and what you're about. So anything that you do that is painted in a negative light, they're going to find out. Any little fuck up you have, they're going to find it out. So if you're one of those guys that likes to get drunk and go out and act like a dickhead all the time, they're going to know. If you're a bad teammate, they're going to know. Because you got to remember, these college coaches aren't going to put their reputation on the line for you.
No, absolutely not. It's like the same thing I say to the kids in here when they come sign up. I'm like, look, man, I'll help you. But you have to show up. You have to show out. You got to fucking work. You have to post. You have to do the work. I'm the bridge. I'm the foundation, dog. I already did the work. That's why you have this foundation to work with. So if you walk in here and you make me look bad, when I call a coach, I don't sell shit. I don't sell training to kids. I don't sell kids to coaches. I am not in the fucking sales business. I'm in the developmental business. Yeah. So if you walk in here and you're going to put your money where your mouth is and invest in yourself, right? And then I say to a coach, you really need to look at this kid. He can fucking ball. He's going to help you keep your job and win football games. In turn, he's going to get what he wants from a monetary standpoint. Maybe gets to the NFL. That's awesome. And then the kid goes to school, and a month later he's in the fucking transfer portal, or he's not going to class, or he's acting like an asshole. That in turn makes me look like a piece of shit. So
so they're not going to come back here.
Why would they come back? Exactly. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons I'm so brutally honest, and people don't understand it. And then I look at them and I go, well, you're not from my world. How would you fucking understand? Yeah.
Yeah. They don't understand it till it's too late.
Exactly. And then they're fans. And I always say, we started this TikTok page 7 weeks ago, and it's fucking exploding. And the people on TikTok are ruthless, bro. They'll just dive into people and just rip them apart. And then I go to the guy's page, and he's got 4 followers and shit. And who the fuck is this guy? But I always tell my guys, don't even read the comments. I'm like, why not? And I'm like, you don't fucking pay attention to what the fans say.
Yeah, you don't.
Shit,
it does not matter.
Do your fucking job. Yeah. It's a man in the arena, homeboy.
All that matters, I always said this, right? So pro football, I'm a big believer that Pro Football Focus is the biggest fucking joke there ever was.
It's pretty shitty.
It's fucking bullshit. I always thought it was bullshit.
They don't know what your assignment
is. They have no fucking idea.
They have no clue.
I
bet you if you sat them down in a room, it would be a bunch of dudes with dyed fingers like Cheetos.
Yeah, they're all in Europe. Yeah, I think they're all European guys from Europe, over in Europe watching these games, fucking grade, giving you a grade that that people are like putting all this fucking hype around.
Well, a lot of the fucking front office people put hype into it.
They
like
do.
Sign guys based on PFF grades.
And have there's incentives on it. It's like if you're
They do
15.
incentives and contracts for PFF.
There's been
all types of shit.
Shut the fuck up, for real?
There's been all types of shit.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
there's all kinds
a lot of weight into it.
Do guards and centers and tackles get PFF incentive grades and shit?
I'm sure they can work. It's up to. I'm sure they work that out. Yeah.
There's so much weight.
Well, the thing, there's all pros and Pro Bowls. Think about that. The Pro Bowl is it's like a popularity contest, right?
It's definitely.
It's not the best player going, right? The best players in each position aren't going. It's the most popular players in each position going. That's why guys that are like J.J. Watt gets fucking sent. He's been injured, and he's like, "Why the fuck are you giving me a Pro Bowl?
Send me the Pro Bowl.
I didn't even fucking play."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, because you're the most popular one." Because that's the fucking way it goes. So the media gets to pick and choose who they put. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking bullshit.
I remember watching the Pro Bowl when I was a kid. And I was like, these guys are flying around fucking killing each other.
Get rid of it.
I watched.
I think they should get rid of it.
Hunter once.
Murder.
That was the best fucking I've ever seen.
I think get rid of it.
Get rid of it. That's how you fix it.
Yeah.
Damn.
You get rid of it and you focus. You get rid of it and you focus on All Pro.
Yeah.
The All Pro.
That's it. That's the vote.
You know what I think?
The All Pro is what matters.
That would be really cool. Is they do a rookie second year game. And I think those guys would play hard.
Yeah.
But you run into that
injury.
That's why we don't have all the shit like basketball.
Touche.
Yeah.
That's the injury. We're playing an impact. It's impact injuries.
Well, yeah. Remember Ryan Clay when I was playing for the Broncos? Clay tore his fucking Achilles or his ACL or one of the two, and it like ended his career.
Basketball.
I mean, he played still, but he wasn't the same.
Yeah.
But I think a flaw with even like all pro voting too is a lot of voters don't watch all the games. They look at stat boxes, which stats, I mean, they have their value, but it's missing context.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like if I'm looking at a defensive back, what is his passer rating when targeted? Like, does he have a below 60 threshold? Like Patrick Surtain had a 66 passer rating when targeted this season. How come he didn't get any consideration? Because he was one of the best in the league at that outside of A.J. Terrell.
Fucking rookie.
Yeah.
So
and to that point, it's like they don't know if it's a heavy man scheme like we did versus the
cover zero, dog blitz.
Well, here's the other thing you're forgetting.
Or is it cover three? Like
here's the other thing you're forgetting about Madden.
Yeah.
You're forgetting about Madden.
That's a good point.
These kids are playing Madden. These fans are playing Madden.
Yep.
So who's the best? If your fucking numbers are high on
I kick my
Madden,
son's ass on Madden all the time too. So sit over there and take your fucking ass.
Madden pissed me off.
Right?
My speed was so
Why is
so bad?
I was always like, what the fuck is this bullshit? So like Jamar Chase, right? Jamar Chase is like ranked. His numbers are lower than Amari Cooper. Jamar Chase had a better season as a rookie than Amari Cooper's ever had.
Jamar Chase is a monster.
Absolute monster. I get to play against Cincinnati a bunch, these last 2 years. So
all right,
I know how good they are.
Let's get into the Ravens and then, we'll get into the NFL as a whole here in a second. Hold on. There's one thing I want to talk about here that I definitely want to get your opinion on. I want to get your opinion on. And it's not politically correct by any means. I don't give a fuck, okay? I am pissed off about this, and I think it's ridiculous, okay? So, Leah Thompson or Mark Thompson or Phil or whatever his name is, the swimmer from Penn who set world records as a dude swimming against females, is now, by, of course, the fucking NCAA and all their spectacular gander. You guys are awesome. They nominate this dude, chick, whatever. They nominate her for Female Athlete of the Year. And look, man, I don't give a fuck, really. I don't care about swimming. I'm not watching any of the events. I'm like really pissed off for the female athletes. Like these ladies, these women are getting totally fucking jobbed.
Yep.
This is not cool, bro. And it's
not cool at all.
It's not like and look, if you're gonna get pissed off at me for not being politically correct and left enough for you, then that sucks. I don't give a fuck. We're in the United States of America. Like my opinion counts. Just because you can scream louder at the phone and like call me an asshole, that doesn't make you right. And this is, if you say you have a daughter and she's busted her ass her whole life on a level playing field, and she gets to the finals and she's got to go against a full grown ass man that just feels like a woman today. Like, who are you, Shania Twain? Get the fuck out of here. I mean, how do you guys feel about this?
Well,
it's a touchy subject.
I'm a father to 2 daughters, and I think it's total bullshit.
It's gotta be
total fucking bullshit. If like I'm not discrediting that that transgenderism is like a thing, right? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if the transgenders should have their own fucking their whole own fucking thing, their own.
Everybody should go race each other.
Okay, this is the transgender division.
There you go.
Right? Then it's fair.
Then it's fair.
Because it's not fair when you have somebody who went through puberty as a male.
Yep.
Who has testosterone levels that men do, and the fucking bone structure and the muscle structure.
Did you see how much fucking bigger he is than the females?
I mean, it's just not fair. Like, it's not fair, and it's sad. It's sad, really. Like, I
can't believe that the NCAA. Well, I can because the NCAA is a fucking joke, but at the same time, like, how can you sit in a room with rational people and make a decision that because this guy decided that? And look, I don't know this to be true, but I would guess that he didn't want to be 400th. He was ranked 400th.
I know.
And he was like, I want to win. And the only way that I can do it is to say that I'm a female. And that, bro, like, the world that we're living in, I guess I'm just a caveman, but I don't fucking get it.
No.
I don't get it, bro. I don't
No, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. They want us to live in their fucking delusion with them. They want us to play make-believe with them.
I can't do it.
Like, can't do it. And deny that a man is a man and a woman is a woman and that chromosomes and this and that. And they're like, well, yeah, okay. I'm not saying that that he doesn't think he's a woman. He doesn't feel like a woman. But he's not. He's biologically a male.
And if he wants to go down that road, more power to you, bro. It doesn't affect
I don't say you shouldn't do it, but you shouldn't be allowed to compete against fucking women.
Thank you.
That's all I'm saying. There's a reason why there's two divisions. There's a reason why he was 400th in the men's division and he's the best fucking ever.
Like, I can't believe that there's people that fight and wrestle and do this too, right? Like, there's fighters that are transgender that grew up a man and now they're fighting as a woman, just out there pummeling some chick. And yes, she knows how to fight and she signed up for it, but she didn't sign up to fight a dude? Man?
No, she didn't sign up to fight a fucking dude.
If I went transgender and I walked into a MMA ring, I wouldn't even need to know how to fight, dog. I'm 6'5", 300 pounds. I've been a man my whole life, and I'm nasty as fuck, and I'll kill a motherfucker you give me the opportunity to, and I can get away with it. And now I'm in a ring, and, like, my job is to go pummel this chick.
Yeah, it's not fair.
I don't think I could do it mentally.
Well, think about, like, even weightlifting and stuff, right? Like,
it's just totally different. Everything is different about
it. It's not fair.
About it, Cody?
Well, as a coach, I mean, there's times, like, even in football, I coach high school football. And so one of the things we did is we've integrated female athletes that want to play football, whether they kick, play running back, play quarterback.
Come play.
Absolutely. Love that. To your point, though, you have daughters, let's say they're competing. I mean, they would feel completely robbed that they put in, as you mentioned, blood, sweat, tears, lifetime of training at the NCAA level just to get there to the highest level. And then all of a sudden it just get pulled out.
And that's all the female swimmers at these events. That's what they said. Like, if you saw, like, the female athletes that were second, third, and fourth, they brought up the fourth place lady and they stood her on the podium with them and they all went and stood on their own. And she's standing up there gloating that she won. And I guess she did. So good for her. But I don't know, man. Didn't
they just now say that they can't compete?
Yeah, but so that's my thing. Like, that's why I'm bringing this up is she can't compete anymore, but she can still win the NCAA Female Athlete of the Year award.
Oh, that's fucking bullshit.
I mean, come on, man. How do you expect people to take this seriously?
Why don't you name them the Transgender Athlete of the Year? Like, that's what I'm saying. Give them their own.
Putting a label on somebody at that point.
Well, no, they labeled themselves as transgender.
I agree.
They did that to they labeled themselves that. I'm not saying that they, like, wired themselves out. First of all, we could talk about, I think that, like, what's being put in our food and all that shit is, and the vaccines and all that shit is what's causing these.
That's some conspiracy shit.
Well, I do. I think that they're fucking with people's hormones.
I will say this, bro. And I'm not saying it's because of this, but I will say it. I got vaccinated. I got one shot, okay, way back in, like, a year ago, because I didn't want to, like, I wanted to be able to go to games and do my job. And they said, if you want to be able to do this, you got to get a shot. You got to show them a card. So I went and got it. And a month later, I started getting gout. And I've had it since then. And it is awful. I can't get rid of it. I take medicine for it every day. And I never even sniffed gout before. So I'm not saying it's because of it, but I'm also saying it's not.
They weren't touching me with that fucking shot.
Yeah, shit, man. I regret it.
I'll pay all the fines. I don't give a shit. They were not going to touch me with it.
Yeah, I regret it. I'm not going to lie. All right, so moving forward here, we'll see what happens with the NCAA and that, and I'm sure it'll spark some people's interest and we'll see what they have to say, and then have some people angry about it. We'll see what they have to say. But the beauty of the country we live in is that, non-cowards will sit down and talk about it and figure it out, and that's what we are. We're the non-cowards. We will talk about anything and everything. Just because you don't like it, that don't mean shit to us. We're still going to talk about it. All right, so moving forward here. Our friends at Rico's Burritos, we need a refill because we've been hounding these burritos in here, bro. My kids love them. Rico's Burritos is going to bring you our next segment here on the National Football League and all things NFL. This is Matt McChesney from Savage and Average, the owner and operator down here at 60 Football Academy, and I want to talk to you about our friends over at Rico's Burritos. The Rico Burritos keep me rolling on a daily basis. My sons eat them constantly. My 12-year-old over here is staring at me right now as he scarfs down another one of these badass burritos from Rico's Burritos. It's a hearty 10-ounce breakfast burrito offered in 8 different flavors, 3 delicious breakfast combinations, 5 scrumptious lunch options, and the pride that is taken in offering a high-end restaurant quality burrito is second to none. The finest ingredients you can find, authentic recipes that have been in the Garcia family for 30 years. Young Cruz is in the program over here working his ass off on a daily basis. Rick Garcia, his father, played at Oregon State back in the day. They put the same passion and intensity that they have in every walk of life in their training and chasing everything down that they want into their family business, Rico's Burritos. For over 30 years, the ingredients and flavors have been identified as the best in the business. And the moment you bite into one of these unbelievably delicious burritos, you will know. Check it out. The website is www.ricosburritos.com. That's www.ricosburritos.com. And it'll give you all the locations, how to purchase the burritos, so on and so forth. On Facebook and Instagram, Facebook is at Rico's Burritos, and Instagram is Real Rico's Burritos. That is Rico's Burritos, a proud sponsor of Savage and Average over here at 60 Football Academy, and we are rolling. All right, so rolling forward here, last segment here on Savage and just a little bit average here as we roll from 60 Football Academy down here in Parker. I'm your host, Matt McChesney, as always. Derek Wolfe to my left, 10-year NFL vet. So great to have him here on site today. Cody Roark in house. Thanks to David Bruton for coming in and sitting in. David runs Between the Lines PT out of here and always working with the guys in the Dunch family and all the athletes he brings in. So it's always great to have him step in as well. Okay, so first of all, did you see the Broncos' white helmets yesterday?
No.
You guys didn't see this?
No.
So the Broncos wore, well, I don't know if it's real or not. I don't know if it was it was on Twitter last night. It's white helmets. I'm praying to God that's not the alternate. How do you guys feel about the alternate helmet thing? I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be the dark blue with the D, yes, which I think they should go to fully.
Absolutely.
What do you think about that?
Anything but that fucking all orange bullshit.
You don't like the all orange? I
hated it. I always hated it. I felt like I looked like a fucking pumpkin.
Like a creamsicle?
Yeah, I was like, I look stupid in this. I hate it.
Yeah. They fit, those jerseys also fit a lot tighter.
Oh, they fit terribly. They fit terribly. They rip.
Can't breathe.
Can't breathe. It fucking takes like 4 guys to put it on.
Getting them off is the worst, bro. I always have to bend over and
pull.
Oh, yeah. Look, if the Broncos went back to the D, and then I personally think we're ready for a rebrand. I mean, you played in that uniform your whole life. How do you feel about it? You think
I think
go back to the D, or you like the step?
I like the D.
Like the D. Yeah, the D is.
I like the D on the helmet.
That shit is the best.
It's fucking cool. I know what he's gonna say.
It's okay.
I know what he's saying.
Both like the D over here.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah, haha. But yeah, the D on the helmet, I think is one of the best fucking helmets in football, and I hope they go back to it. What do you think, C?
I think they will do it because, I mean, hey, Russell Wilson is now the face. You have a brand new owner, but more so, even Russ has been putting out these subliminal, posts with the old school logo. He's had it up on his computer. People, I haven't looked into this. I don't want to research someone's Instagram post like that, but there are people out there that have done that. I think it'll be about a year, because even the Giants just announced today they're going back to the old school.
Giants?
Yes.
Really?
They're going back to the old school. So Denver would be, I think, remiss not to. I mean, players have approached. I know that several players I've talked to said, we've gone to Joe Ellis and we said, hey, can we change the uniforms? Can we go back to the old logo? And it's becoming more popular amongst the fan base, too.
Oh, shit, man. I miss it. I grew up with that logo, and I miss it. I'm not going to lie.
It's old school. It symbolizes what Denver Broncos football truly is.
Is the all-black Ravens with the purple trim, is that the hardest uniform in football?
Dude, it is so shit, fucking –
when you guys
feel fucking good wearing it,
and you're wearing that uniform, I'm like, well, somebody's about to get fucked up.
Dude, that was a fucking badass uniform. That all-black –
Yep.
The black jersey in general was
it's just hard.
The black and purple.
I mean, you played at Cincinnati. You guys are black and red and white, right?
Yeah, black and red.
I played at CU. We're black and gold, and you guys had all blue. You guys wore all black every home game, right?
Yeah.
You guys were all black. We wore all black half the home games. I think all black is the best combination for a jersey.
Oh, absolutely.
It's great for big. I'm a huge orange and blue fan, obviously.
It's great for big guys because it makes you look better.
You look slim.
Yeah, it makes you look better. Yeah. Then you throw that fucking white jersey on, you look like a fucking fat boy.
Look like a goddamn fucking cream puff marshmallow.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's hot as shit when you're playing an afternoon game at 1 o'clock on the turf field at elevation.
It doesn't matter. You feel like such a badass. I'm gonna be dying out there, and it doesn't matter.
I could be in a fucking ice suit. Dog.
Yeah, still sweating.
All right, so let's get into this. I'm not going to go through every division and whatnot, but we are going to talk about some of the good teams in the National Football League right now. And look, if you're looking at the AFC, the 7 AFC playoff teams I have right now, I got the 1 seed being the Colts. I think that Matt Ryan is going to absolutely shine this year. I love their defense. I got the 2 seed being Buffalo, the 3 seed the Baltimore Ravens, the 4 seed the Raiders. I know you don't like that, but still. The 5 seeds the Titans, the 6 seeds the Cincinnati Bengals, and the 7 seed is your Denver Broncos. So that means Kansas City and the Chargers are on the fucking outside looking in, and it's not popular. But I think Kansas City is primed to kind of be humbled this year a little bit, and I don't think Justin Herbert is better than Russell or Carr right now. So what are you guys' thought on the AFC right now?
I think it's stacked. I think it's fucking so stacked.
Good, right?
Well, here's the thing with Baltimore. If Baltimore can stay healthy,
how good are they?
Dude.
Well, last year, what were you guys, 8-4 before Lamar got hurt?
First of all, we had the most people on IR than any team in the history.
Before the season,
all your running backs,
all the running backs, and if they can stay healthy, which is a big if. It's a big if. If they can stay healthy, they will be a fucking problem.
Yeah, I think they're going to be.
Because Lamar is a fucking
explosive. So talk about him. Obviously you played with Peyton and everything he brought to the table. And then you got to go play with Lamar Jackson, who's an NFL MVP already, and I watch this guy play sometimes, and I'm like, how the fuck did he do that?
Dude, the shit he does in practice, Harbaugh's always like, whoa, chill out. Like, don't get fucking hurt, But he's such a freak athlete that he can just make shit happen, And he's a humble guy. Like,
do you think he gets a fucking bad rap? I think people ride his ass way too hard.
I think so, too. And I think that he handles it very well because he could just be a dick if he wanted to, and he's not. Yeah. He's a great dude.
Himself too. I love that shit. And they have to sit in the room and talk to him man to man instead of like dogging him out to an agent.
Yeah,
I think personally that'll help him in negotiations because I don't think that they'll sit in there and be like, you don't do this way, you don't do this way, because they'll just look at him and be like, okay, then I'll just go somewhere else. Fuck you.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I feel like the Ravens internally, we just saw this mega contract with Deshaun. I don't know what that will do, especially with Russell Wilson probably going to be getting one at some point. Kyler Murray's in line for an extension. But, you look at Lamar, I feel like he gets too harsh of criticism. I don't think he deserves it in a sense because I'd say his rookie season, what was one of the biggest things he needed to improve on? And we saw it in the playoff game. Okay, he needs to work on his passing mechanics. Accuracy, he did that the next year, and he worked on it the last year as well. The Broncos and Vic Fangio went into the matchup last year and said, we're going to force him to beat us with his arm. You know what he did? He did just that.
Slice him up.
He's got a big arm, and he's far more accurate. When you have guys like Mark Andrews, who's unbelievably hard to cover.
Good player.
Ridiculous to cover. One of the best tight ends in the game that doesn't get talked about enough.
All right, so give me your thoughts on, look, I think Buffalo, and I have Buffalo going to the Super Bowl playing Tampa Bay when it comes down to it. That's my pick. And Buffalo winning the Super Bowl. Talk to me about Buffalo, Josh Allen. They get Vaughn. Bro, I'm looking at them, and I'm like, holy shit, this team's fucking absolutely stacked. And now you have Von Miller. Like the one thing that they struggled with last year, rushing the passer, and a motivated Von Miller is maybe the scariest thing an offensive lineman can see.
I mean, dude, he is. So I played with Vaughn for 8 years. Right next to him.
And not only did you play with him, but I've never seen a cleaner, like 4-eye outside linebacker read combo, grab the fucking shoulder pad of the tackle, hold him, fucking the way you guys played the games and read off of each other.
It was fun.
I don't know if I've ever seen a cleaner transition through the time you guys played against or with each other in my entire life between a tackle and a defensive end. People don't understand the relationship between the work a 4-eye puts in, because I played the position my whole rookie year, and I had John Abraham outside of me. John Abraham was a fucking animal. But, like, the ability for that 4-eye to play into the tackle and give that pass rusher just that one extra inch or step, like, I don't think you get enough credit. Like, you should get a half sack every time he gets one.
Well, think about this. So in 8 years, there was 100 sacks. Only 6 of them I wasn't involved in. And I'm not saying that I caused that or he didn't just go beat the guy.
But it's the
scheme and the shit we're doing. Because do you think if I go up and grab a tackle that next time that it's third down, he's not thinking, fuck, he might grab me. But guess what I'm doing? Instead of grabbing him, I'm going to fucking pin him and he's going to wrap around.
Exactly.
And he's going to get a sack.
Even Vaughn even said, he's like, I owe a lot of the sacks I've been able to get due to Derek because of the fact he's commanding a double team. He's taking that offensive tackle's attention away. Like, if you get an offensive tackle with half attention on Vaughn, dude, his athletic ability, his bend. I mean, you talk about the best.
He's got 3D rushing ability.
Dude, he runs full speed this far from the fucking ground.
3D rushing, right, left, and Von Miller.
It is unbelievable. You talk about that fucking ghost, that ghost rush.
Ghost arm, bro. God.
Well, that's the thing. Here's the other thing. Here's the thing about Vaughn.
He did it to the Super Bowl, the Cincinnati tackle.
Oh, it was disgusting. It was disgusting, and his pass rushing ability is so filthy, and when he like.
Is he the best pass rusher ever?
I think so.
From a skill position standpoint.
It has to be. From pure skill, as far as like taking pure skill, this dude can – I mean, there's nothing he can't do.
You think what's Bruce have, 201 or 198, 199?
200.
I think it's 200.
It's 200.
He said he wants to get there.
You think Vaughn is healthy enough and longevity enough to get – I mean, you say roughly 12 to 15 sacks for 6 years, yes?
I think it's possible. I mean, have you seen him train?
He's
like,
a freak.
Oh my God, his regimen is
absolute freak.
Dude, he's a freak. He's a fucking freak.
He's going to be playing with the lead again too. So, like, one of the things is you guys played with the lead a lot because you had Peyton. He's going to be playing with the lead a lot. He's got Josh Allen and Diggs and all these fucking dudes and a great offense. So, man, Buffalo's going to be fucking scary.
If they find ways to scheme him up and get him one-on-ones, I mean, if he gets a one-on-one 5 times. He's going to win 4 of them.
At least. So you strip sack, fumbles, pressures, everything he brings to the table.
And that's the other thing. When he gets to the quarterback, he's not just trying to get him to the ground. He's trying to take the ball away from him.
Yeah, he's. I've never seen anybody better at taking the ball.
Yeah, he takes it. He's like a lion when he gets there. He just fucking he'll take both hands off the ground and fucking pounce and grab.
Did you ever see that clip of that guy that was feeding a lion? Like, had this big piece of meat and went to go throw it over. The lion never lost focus on the guy. Didn't focus on the meat. Just stared right at the guy. That's. Or look at Von Miller, he's got that look in his eyes, and he knows when the snap's coming. Mm-hmm. You can't coach that.
And since we're talking about pass rushers here, I have the Raiders winning the West. And look, I'm a Bronco. I don't fuck the Raiders, but I can't say fuck Max Crosby. That's my guy.
Oh, that guy.
I love Max Crosby. He's my guy. We're boys. He's a fucking
monster
animal, bro. And not only an animal, he knows he is, and he's like. On top of his game, he wants to be a Hall of Famer, and I think he can do it. Talk about Max Crosby's game, what you see out of 98, because I think he's on the verge. He had the most pressures in football last year. He was a step away from being a 20 sack guy. He was first team, wasn't he first team All-Pro or second team, something like that? But he's a Pro Bowler, and he's just got a huge contract. He's I love that they drafted Colin Farrell 4th, and they drafted Max in the 3rd or 4th round. And Max just went in there and he was like, I'm taking this dude's bag.
Yeah. Yep. That's how it is when you get to the league.
Well,
you're taking somebody's job.
To get motivated with it.
You're taking somebody's job. That's just the way it goes.
Talk to me about Max.
Max is like that perfect combination of skill and engine. Like his motor is unreal.
Stops.
Doesn't stop.
I love it.
But he's not just that fucking guy that is typical fucking white guy, just plays hard. No, he fucking plays hard.
Moving to offense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's a,
Fucking plays hard, and he has a fucking skill set, and he has spin moves, he has long arms, he has ghost rushes, he knows how to use his hands. When he gets to the quarterback, he's trying to take the ball, and he has like a nose for it. He just
makes
has,
everybody better too. He demands everybody plays hard.
Yeah, and he pushes the guys around him to be better, and he's a good teammate. And I never played with him, but I know, like, I've been around him a couple times, and I love the guy. I think he's a fucking awesome guy. I think he has the ability to be a Hall of Famer. Absolutely.
And then I got to give some love here if we're going to talk about pass rushers to Trey Hendricks. He's in Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
The gloveless wonder. I don't know how the fuck he does that, by the way. My fingers would hurt so bad.
He's a big reason they beat the Chiefs.
He's a fucking animal, bro. And he's another one of these guys, like, just motor all day. And it's like, if you sense one thing about today's show, we are talking about guys that play hard, do it right, love the game, and it's consistent. Everybody that we're talking about, the way we talk about each other, you can tell that the football guys that know the other guy could play and they have respect on how hard they did it and what they do and how they give back. We all feed off of that shit. Mm-hmm. And everybody, that's when you see ball players. Like, I was in the fucking Branson, Missouri airport like 3 weeks ago, and I ran into a guy I played with in college, and everybody in the place is like, who are these two? And I'm like, motherfucker, run! And the people don't understand why we love each other like that. It's because we've all been through it. And not to like get off on a rant here or anything, but it's one of the reasons, like, I watched these guys play hard. Hendricks was a late round draft pick. Like, nobody thought he could do it, and now he's a fucking Pro Bowler.
Yep.
So I had to mention him as well. All right, the NFC before we put a bow on today. I got Tampa Bay 1. I think that Tom Brady's going to have them rolling. Antonio Brown's gone. Gronkowski being gone's big, but I like Cameron Brate. They got some dudes. The Rams 2. I like Minnesota to win the North, but I still think Green Bay makes the playoffs. I got the Eagles winning the East. The 5th seed is the Packers. The 6th seed's the Saints. I love their defense. Cameron Jordan's a fucking animal. And I got the
here's a kicker with the Saints.
Washington football team.
Here's a kicker with the Saints. They got Mark Ingram on the team still. Listen, dude.
He's still playing?
Mark Ingram is the best teammate I've ever been with.
Okay, that's fucking high praise, bro.
Dude, I'm telling you, the best teammate.
Really?
Brings the fucking energy every day. Hard. He brings it every day, and his positivity is fucking through the roof. Like, he is a fucking awesome dude. Love that guy.
Like, I think New Orleans is really going to be a scary squad. Jameis Winston is my favorite, but he's serviceable when he's healthy and good. I love Tyson Hill. I wish he could throw the ball better, but he's like a modern day Tebow to me a little bit. But he just a little bit faster, more athletic, and less preachy, which I dig.
They get Michael Thomas back.
Michael Thomas. So is Michael Thomas done? Is he a product of Drew Brees?
I don't know. I think this will really answer. He's coming off the ankle injury, but they also added Chris Olave too, and he's a blaze maker across the field. So
how do you feel about the NFC there and all those picks? Look, Tampa Bay, you played with Shaq.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that people in Denver regret letting Shaq Barrett go. That guy's a fucking animal.
All he does is make plays. Why would you want him on your team?
Yeah. These are questions.
That's something Bill Collar would say.
People have asked.
Bill's like, all he does is make plays when he goes out there. Why would you want him out there? Fucking Bill.
All right, folks. Look, this was a hell of a show. I don't know if we've ever done one better. I'm your host, Matt McChesney. This is 60 Football Academy down here in Parker. You can go to @60 Football Academy, @60 Strength on the internet machine, on the Google machine. Check it out. On Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, @60 Academy. On TikTok, @60 Academy _60. We got a ton of content. It's on TikTok Live. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Derek, brother.
Thanks for having me.
That was fucking awesome, bro.
Yeah,
we got to do it again.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you in the future and your beautiful family. And I know you'll be, around Denver and shit. And we'll see what happens in the future. Cody is our new co-host here for Savage and Average, and he's going to be with us on all the shows moving forward. Make sure you check him out at Mile High Sports. He's on there killing it on the daily, and follow him on social media as well. So, David Bruton, thank you so much for coming on. He had to go do his job and rub some plush hamstrings. But that is episode 4. I'm your host, Matt McChesney. Travis Jones, tip of the cap to you, brother. Nick, thank you so much for doing TikTok. And we are back to the fucking grind. Derek Wolfe, my man. Wrap.